Hey, what's up, everybody? Monero has finally broken out. I don't know anybody else on YouTube talking about Monero as much as we talked about Monero. We talk about Monero almost every video, and we got a breakout. That's pretty cool. It's no surprise to me at all. Why? Because this is exactly what we figured, which is what? Which is this is some type of running flat, right? We were flagging out for weeks and weeks and weeks. Now, initially, we thought the running flat was right there, right? It looked pretty decent, but then it's continued on, and it just was a bigger running flat. That's basically what it was, right? And then we got this massive breakout, right? Obviously, you could see the price is dumping pretty significantly, right? But that's okay. I believe it's most likely going to backtest. Now, the narrative is a little bit skeptical, right? Supposedly somebody hacked $300 million worth of Bitcoin and they didn't want to be traced, so they stuck it in Monero. And that's why we saw that. Maybe that's true, maybe not. Maybe that's just the narrative. It's very hard to know exactly what's real and what's not. But I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter if somebody swapped it into Bitcoin, right? The point is, from a technical perspective, it did everything it needed to do. And regardless of the narrative that they are trying to attach to this breakout, regardless if that narrative was here or not, we were eventually going to get a breakout. The reason why is because, well, exactly what we've been talking about all since really throughout, I want to say we started talking really aggressively about Monero, probably right somewhere, probably throughout in here. I'll have to go back and look at our first Monero video. But what really got me excited about Monero is the entire chart of Monero, right? This is a massive 7-year sideways structure, right? And it has all the phases of a structure that you need, right? Just look at XRP for a moment, or let's look at Bitcoin for a moment, right? If you look back over here, we had a major breakout, right? But what started the breakout? Well, this massive range did, right? We were going sideways. See, everyone doesn't like sideways, but I tell people all the time, sideways is your best friend. Sideways is the best thing that could help the price, right? The reason why is because it allows for these phases to be met. Which phases? Well, we have a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, right? We go sideways in reaccumulation, and then we break out. That's exactly what happened to XRP years and years and years ago. Same thing, rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, breakout. And that is the primary reason why XRP was my biggest holding by a lot, because it is doing exactly the same structure as before, right? Same carbon copy structure of what happened before, right? We go sideways. But look how long this is taking. This is a super long base, which is a good thing, right? Bigger the base, higher in space. So you can see rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation. We went sideways for several years, and then we broke out. All right. It was a definitive, no BS breakout. So if we look at Monero, it's literally exactly the same. Like, we have rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways for many, many years, and then we broke out. We've been broked out, right? We had been broked out for a while. Let's see. We broke out December of last year. Okay, so we've been broke. We've it's been a while. like nearly 5 months. Okay. So for the last 4 to 5 months, we've been having this A, B, and then C. So you could see the running flat, right? So we developed, well, first, real quick, obviously, we went on our bull run, right? We had our bear market, and then we went up into a retracement. You notice this retrace did not, we did not go on a bull run, right? It was only a retracement. So if you look at Bitcoin and ADA and Theta and Matic and Ethereum and all of the other coins, VeChain, you pick it, you pick it. They all went on bull runs, all right? There was only a select few that didn't. For example, XRP did not go on a bull run. Monero did not go on a bull run. Litecoin did not go on a bull run. So while the rest of the market was out drinking and partying and having a good time, well, guess what? Today they're hungover. They're tired. They're puking their brains out. Meanwhile, Monero and XRP, they went out to the gym together. They're having a good time, right? They're resting. So now it's race day, and the rest of the market is kind of like, kind of not doing so good. But XRP and Monero, they've been resting while everybody else was out partying. So they're really ready to go. I mean, that's an analogy, right? That's a way to explain, a way to look at it. So, yeah, because we've been resting. I mean, look how long we've been going sideways here, right? We had this big wave up, and then we flagged out, and then we sort of went sideways. And now you can start to see, we're starting to channel out of here, right? So yeah, it's been a little while. So I mean, let's see here. This video was back in January. I want to say there was several of them before this too, but this was like a Monero only video, I think. Yeah, but that's one video. I mean, we've done several. This was 3 months ago, guys. 3 months ago. Why Monero should shock. I think I spelled that wrong. Why Monero could shock another people a lot. Yeah, that's a misspelling. It should say why Monero could shock a lot of people. Okay. So, you can see this video here was 3 months too. Here's Monero. But I'm basically saying, look, these reaccumulation phases are no joke. And so what would be the next one to break? Well, that would be Litecoin. So the next coin we should focus on would be Litecoin for that break. But more on that later. First, let's look at how this played out and how much are we dumping here. Well, typically you want to see a back test, and we haven't even back tested yet, right? So if this was a hack and everybody, sold their Monero, or this hacker sold his Bitcoin for Monero, okay, then why did it sell 50%? Did he sell all of it? Because they act like that this whole move was because of one person, and that's just not the case, right? So you have a lot of other people who bought in this wave, including myself. I was buying in here. So, and this wasn't so impossible to get right. I mean, back sort of, I was messaging on Discord here. This was back in January. I basically said, when XRP took off, I said, I tried telling everyone. Now I'm saying get spot Monero. Everyone's sleeping on Monero. I don't even care about the coin. I just like the chart. But I have to imagine some type of catalyst coming into the news cycle where people flock into privacy. It still hasn't had its debut, really. It's had a 3-year reaccumulation structure and a 7-year range. exactly the same structure as XRP rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation. So is the blast off next? Well, it seems like it is. So again, you can see that same structure. Basically, Monero has the exact same structure as XRP. So you could see Monero, XRP, same structure. So it's not so impossible to predict, right? It's pretty easy to identify that, but yet nobody was, right? Who was talking about Monero? Nobody. Why? Because Monero's not part of the cool club. It's sort of an old grandpa coin, you know. Nobody cares. But even grandpa coins can surprise you some days, you know. So obviously we got strongly rejected up in here. But why did we get rejected, guys? Because we pinpoint nailed. What did we nail? I imagine we had nailed some type of fib level. I'm going to say somewhere around the 618. Let's take a look here. Well, would you look at that? That's insane. Look at that. You pinpoint nailed it like perfectly. Let me make sure this is right on the dot. And this one is right on the dot too, as best as I can. That's a little tiny bit off, but you could see we perfectly nailed the 618. It's exactly what we were talking about. So look at this. Now if we zoom in, and sometimes it takes a long time for these things to play out. I mean, look how long it took XRP to break out. We've been talking about XRP since October of 2023. So, you know, or even Theta. I mean, we've been talking about Theta since way back over here, October of 2023. That's really when we started on this channel. So, and I say we because we're all on the same team. We're all on the same side. We're all here to make money. We're all here to help each other. We're all here to figure it out. So, all right. So that's pretty much it for Monero. I don't want to go too far down here, but essentially, we hit the 618, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, right? We had this A, B, C. Now you could say 1, 2, all of that's 3, this is 4, and this is 5. But what do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have 7. So a lot of times when you have 7 waves, the problem is with Monero is that we've been going up Monero's been going up for a whole year and almost a year and a half, and nobody's even noticed, right? So it made this double bottom. It came up. It flagged out. It started flagging out. It broke out, and then it basically had this running flat. But if you look real closely here, we can see 1, 2. Remember, we were just talking about this back over here. And we said this looks impulsive. Remember, we were talking about XRP being a diagonal. It's a diagonal, right? And there's a lot of things that look like a diagonal right now. Bitcoin did. But Monero, I said, no, I don't think this is a diag. I think this is more impulsive. You could see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I was a little bit like, okay, we had 5 waves. So let's get an ABC here, right? Well, we did. We did get an ABC, but this was a flat. Look at this. And it was very small. So you could see A, B, and then we basically had this little C wave. It was a little running flat, A, B, C, right? And then it just exploded like nobody's business, right? And we're still relatively high. I mean, we can technically come all the way back down to 231 here and retest that level. I don't think so, though. I think the level we would test would be right here at 241 and 234, and yeah, that would be it. I think that would be the level I would try to buy the dip. For me, not financial advice, but for me, I'm going to try to buy if we can get down to that level. So So anyways, well, what now with Monero? Okay, so once we backtest, right, I would imagine, we would then have a continuation to the upside. Most definitely. You could see this level here, right? We need to break this level right here. And you can see we wicked into it, but we haven't broken it yet. But you could see the shape it's making. You could see it's making this cup shape, right? So you basically have a big cup and you have a big handle here. So you technically do have a cup and handle here. And it's a 7-year cup and handle, one of the biggest cup and handles in crypto, right? If not the biggest. So where's it going? Well, I think for sure, bare minimum, we are heading to, there's a couple ways you can pull it. I could pull it from here, and I had the 618. But let's see. Yeah, so you could see we actually, on this one, we actually pierced the 702 and we got rejected. 702s are very hard to get through, right? So this could take a little while, this could take a while here. But essentially the target would be 760 up to 840. I would say between 750 and 850, just to, have a good range. But again, it could take a little bit of time. The reason why it could take a little bit of time is because you see this wave here, right? That looks like a 7-wave move to me. It looks kind of complete. Now, you could just get going here, but it would have to happen relatively fast. It would have to happen probably within the next, I would say, 30 days. If not, then it looks like you need a little bit of a pullback here. So you have this, let's see if I could get it a little bit. Well, I'm just going to have to zoom in. I really didn't want to because I want the whole picture in there. So what I could do then would just, let's do it this way. So I'll have a channel here, right there. So what I'm saying is you can have another channel kind of like this to the downside. Whoops. Okay, so something like that, but not all the way down there, but some kind of, that's perfect right there. And then let me put this one down here. Actually, let me just get rid of that. I don't need that. So basically, some type of ABC correction, some type of, something like that, right? Something that test, you can see it test to the bottom, test to the top, test to the bottom, test to the top. That's what I would think here. So we already tested the top. Now we're going to come down and we're going to back test, probably get a retrace, probably come back down, maybe go on a little bit of sideways, and then eventually get going. That's kind of how I'm thinking here. All right. I'm thinking, we're going to have a little bit of a, I don't think it's going to be all boring, but I think we're going to be working a range from here up to, probably about a 70-80% range, soon to be. So yeah, just maybe kind of round out a little bit and then a continuation. Unless we're going to get going now. So if we get going now, then if I zoom in real quick and I could show you, let's get rid of that. We have a polyline. We broke out, we backed, we're way down here. If we come back up and retrace, right, something like this, a B wave, and then we come down for a C, and then we retest the top of this range, right? And then we can start to, build a little bit of a base here. Maybe you get 3 up, maybe you get 3 back down, and then you get like maybe 5 back up, right? Something like that. And then maybe a little bit of sideways behavior, and then the continuation. So, and that could take, 6 months or so, or we'll see. But basically, some interesting wave structure. Now, where it gets really interesting, you can say, well, how come XRP didn't have to battle through all of those levels? Like, you can see XRP did it super clean. There was no back test. That's because XRP, you know, had this big flag right in here. All right. We had 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we had 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 down, right? And Monero, you can see the difference. Monero's kind of the same, but you can see we've been going up. We've been going up for a while, right, in this channel. And we broke above the channel, and then we came back in the channel. So let me just put XRP on side by side here. There we go. And you can see, yeah, it's kind of hard to see, but essentially, like right here, you could see we were going sideways while XRP was going up. Okay, and then we kind of dropped down a little bit, and then we started going up. So it was a different shape versus XRP had a much better shape. We were going up, and then we were going down, which allowed us to go back up. This one, we're kind of just going flat, hit the low, and then start grinding up. And then that's why it was not so climactic, right? Versus XRP's major climactic move, because you were setting up like A, B, C, and then you had a wave 1, and then you flagged out A, B, C, and then you exploded, right? So, but even still with Monero, and why am I going over this? Because it's good to know the differences of the structures, because, you know, that we're all learning at the same time. Whether you like it or not, we're learning as we go. So, yeah, I think we have a ton of support down here for Monero. Monero is a long-term hodl position for me. Just hodling, right? And as long as we stay above this blue box, you know, we're pretty good. So we could technically flag out for a while here before getting going again. Or this could happen very fast. You know, this could happen very quickly. If we zoom in and look at the small time frames here, let's see. Yeah, did you have 5 here? Pretty much, it's kind of hard to tell, but you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. Okay, and then you had sort of this 3-wave move down. Not convinced it's finished yet. You know, we could go back up in 3 and then back down in 3 and then continue. So we'll keep an eye on it. But anyway, that's it for Monero. I don't want to spend too much time. But, you know, we got a big breakout in Monero. So, you know, you already know I'm going to talk about it. All right. So XRP. It looks like you had a 5-wave move here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this looks like 3, and this looks like 3, and this looks like 5. So this is a 3-wave move here. That looks like it's done. So this could be an A, bearishly. This could be an A. This could be a B. And now we could be going down in a C wave, maybe down to 210. I don't know. We'll see. We have bearish divergence on the 4-hour now. You could see from there to there. And if this is a 5-wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave move, you have bearish divergence between the 3rd and the 5th. Same way as you would have bullish divergence between the 3rd and the 5th as well. So you can also kind of see you got a little bit of a rising wedge situation going here. And that's typical with diagonals, you know, the way they shape. So my question is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, A, B, C, 2. Now we're flat now, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is the wave 1. And now we're going to pull back to wave 2. It could be wave 1 of 3, and now we're going up into wave 3. So this 1-2 is part of a 5-wave move of wave 3. That's one idea, right? The other idea is, see, I don't like it as a flat anymore. I mean, unless the flat was here, A, B, C, and then this is like a 1-2, or yeah, we're gonna have to. We need a little bit of time for that one. I'm not too comfortable saying that one, but what else? Well, this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This could be an A. This could be a B, and this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a C. This could be an ABC, and if that's a 3-wave move, then what do you expect? You expect 3 waves down, right? That's why when the markets go up, don't freak out, because markets always come back. If markets crash, don't freak out. Markets come back, especially if they go in 3 waves, right? Look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave move down. You're freaking out, but if you would have just waited, look at this. You came all the way back up, 3 up. So now you have 3 up. Now people down here are freaking out. Well, guess what? Maybe you have 3 back down. So I think the best thing for XRP to do is to maintain support in this zone, right? And then basically you want to target this level here. So that's what I think is going to play, is we're going to get back up to these levels. And I've been thinking that for XRP. The reason why is because, again, this is a beautiful flag. And inside the flag, you have 3 down, you have 3 up, and you have 3 down. You have a 3, 3, 3. That's a WXY. That's a 3-wave move. And then here you have a 5-wave move off the low. You have a pullback. And now what is this? Is this part of a 3rd wave? Is this part of a flat? Is this part of some consolidation before we go up? I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't know. But here's what I do know. I do know once this is finished, I believe we will get back up to here. So now the ultimate bearish thing that this could be is that this could be, and when I say ultimately bearish, it will ultimately lead into very bullish behavior. But basically what this could be is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then all of this is 5. And if that's the case, then we just have ourselves a 5-wave completed move, right? And I think that could be the case. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what does that mean? That means you need what? An A, B, C. That means you could literally go all the way back down to $2 and still be technically bullish, right? And then go up from there, and then get back up here, right? So you have, just like you have this shoulder here, you have the head, and then maybe you get another shoulder, and you have like this slanted sort of inverse head and shoulders, if you will. So if you take this whole wave, right, because this is the bottom of the wave, this is the top, you take the whole wave and cut it in half, that could be right around where we go. So where is that approximately? Yeah, right around that 2 to 205 area. That looks like the middle to me, just about, right? So that's kind of what I would like to see. Let's get a little ABC here. You know, you had this move up. Let's get a move down. Let's kind of consolidate a little bit, and let's get back up to here. And then we'll reevaluate. So that's kind of how I'm looking at this. Let's see how it plays. So that's it for XRP and Monero. Again, I believe this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're about to get 5. And if you look closely, it looks pretty good. I mean, you're getting a little bit of weakness here, but that's okay. As long as you just, stay strong and hold, you'll be fine. So pretty much that's it. All right, what else? So a lot of these charts look like AVAX, like ICP, AVAX, There's a lot of them. I can't even think of all of them, but you have well, SHIB and Theta look very similar. Okay, so you have like ADA, you have HBAR, you have Algo, you have, you know, a lot of them that look like that three-wave move. So we'll focus on AVAX real quick. And you can say, well, who cares about AVAX? Well, what I'm about to say with AVAX applies to all of those other coins. Like, for example, ICP here. I thought ICP was right around here somewhere. There it is right there. ICP, you can see, look at ICP and then look at AVAX. I mean, it's literally the same. So, yeah, we'll do AVAX. So, obviously, AVAX looks very bullish to me. I've been saying this. Why does it look incredibly bullish? Because you have this almost perfect three-wave pullback here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And look at this. You even have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the third. So it's totally legit. So you have a wave 1, you have an A, B, and a C, right? So what's the important part of an ABC? What is the most important part of an ABC? The C wave, right? Because that's the final wave. So if you look at the C wave, you want 5 waves. Do we have 5? Yes, we do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, perfect. We got 5. So C is done. Yeah, it could be. All right, but do we have bullish divergence? Let's see. Yes, we do. We have major bullish divergence on the 3-day. That's very strong. Look how strong that is. That's very strong bullish divergence, matter of fact. So we have a C wave, all that. So now what do we need? We need an impulse. We need a 5-wave move off the low. Do we have it? Doesn't look like it. It looks like 3 to me. Let's zoom in. I think AVAX is going to be a big winner. I think ICP is going to be a big winner. Just by the way they are shaping out. Just by the way they're shaping. Okay, so, whoa. I like this. I like it. It's a little bit tricky, but there's a couple of different ways you can count this. Number 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC, right? And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this could be A, B, C right there. So you basically have 3 waves up, 3 waves down, and then 3 waves back up. And this is A, B, C. This is a flat here. This is an ABC here. So if you had 3 waves up, you would get 3 waves down, and then you would continue. So that's one way. I don't know if it'd be that big, but essentially another way you can look at it is you have a double bottom here, and you're building a base. Bottom of the base, top, bottom of the base, top, bottom of the base, top, and then eventually you break out. So you build a range, consolidation, or even Wyckoff accumulation, right? You can come down here and do a Wyckoff pattern. This is that's what a Wyckoff pattern looks like. Or you can have a schematic 2 or 1 with a liquidity grab. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but if it does, whatever. So, but essentially, what is the idea here? What is the goal? The goal is to get back into the retrace levels. And that's exactly what I believe will happen. Very strongly, I might add. I don't care about the tariffs. I don't care about how insanely bearish people are right now. It actually makes me more bullish, the fact that people are so bearish over the tariffs. Remember, tariffs are used as positive ammunition, but also it could be used as negative ammunition. But we also have the XRP ETF, right? So eventually I think that's going to be starting to get priced in. So yeah, another way we could count this is basically like flagging out here like a little ABC, and we're going to get another pop to the high. If we got that, then you could say like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could say, or even a 1, 2, 1, 2 here, right? Yeah, but essentially we need to get above this area, right? and we don't really want to go below this area. So as long as we stay within these confines, I think we're pretty good, right? But if it was really bearish, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this could come all the way back down, way down, all the way down to like way down here, ABC, and then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And this is 1, 2, right? Then we get 3, maybe come down and retest for a 4, and then go up for a 5. So we'll see how it plays out. ICP looks a little more bearish. It looks a little bit more 3-wave-ish to me. It looks like 3 waves there, right? So what I would want to see is 3 waves down and then maybe 5 up. And then we'll reevaluate from there. And then, but then that becomes a bigger 3, and then you can get a bigger 3, and then another 5 up, and that's a bigger 3, you know? So they can get bigger. It depends how complex they want to get. But one thing is for sure, I think the wave is done. I mean, you have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, and 5. So the only thing is do you have one more wave down? Maybe not. I don't think so. It doesn't look like it needs to be. The problem is we don't have 5 off the low. We have 3. Do we have bullish divergence on the 2-day? Yeah, we do. We have bullish divergence on the 2-day. So I think it's pretty good. So if you take a trend-based fib extension from the bottom of wave 1 to the top of wave 1 to the bottom of wave 2, a standard 1-to-1 or 1618 extension, you're looking at $33. So what is that? 5, 10, what is that? Wait, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. What is that? Like a 6x or so? So yep, look at that. Almost 7x. So yeah, I think play around a little bit down in here. If we have to hit the low, whatever. But I think eventually we're going to get into these retracement levels from this wave here, right? You got all these retracement levels in here. But yeah. All right, let's look at Theta. So we looked at Theta yesterday. It came down very aggressively, but it's luckily a part of a 3-wave move. This isn't just some big wave. Like, you see how aggressive and sad that looks. Well, it would be very sad if it was going up like this and then it had a big dump down like that, right? And that wave was this wave, but it isn't, right? Instead, it's more of a corrective wave because it's oscillating, right? It's got that ABC shape to it. So we know all that. And not only that, but we have 1, 2, it looks like a 5-wave move is done, right? Unless you're going to have the super bearish idea. And this is if China doesn't want to make a deal. Basically, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, you come up, there's your B. And then you have 1, 2, 3. 3 is not finished yet. You got to continue to go down 4 and then 5. And there's your C, and then you have A, B, C, and then you go up, and that's not until like 2027, 2028. Hopefully not. But yes, even with that Theta, I'm looking for a retrace back to this level. Once we get there, then we'll reevaluate. Because the way I look at it is you have 3 waves up, but you also have 3 waves down. So I just don't know if this is part of a 5-wave move down or if this is an ABC. Everything starts off as an ABC. You know, the trick is, does it turn into something bigger? But typically you would get 5 waves up like that. And that would be a 3, 3, 5. So that's an ABC. So that's kind of what I'm holding out for. And since we're so oversold, since we're down in the dumps, I mean, we're basically down at the bottom. I wouldn't get too, too bearish because there's so much support, But looking at Theta, again, there's very strong bullish divergence. Remember, we also have, ladies and gentlemen, we also have a weekly 9. Look at that. We had a weekly 9 buy that ended last night. And this is the new candle. And you can see the new candle is starting to trade above the 9 buy. That's really good. And then we also have a 2-week 9 buy. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, look at that. You have a 2-week 9 buy, a 1-week 9 buy, a 3-wave pullback, a 5-wave move. You have bullish divergence. How many things do we need? Well, as many as we can get, honestly, because we want unequivocal, without a doubt, evidence that we're going to go up and the bottom is in. That's what we want. We all want to make money. This is what it's about, right? So it's all about, like Sherlock Holmes, trying to find as many clues, as many things that point to the suspect, and the suspect is the bull, right? It's the bull. So, yeah. So we have a 2-week 9 buy. The last time we had a 2-week 9 buy, we shot up. The last time before that, we had a 2-week 9 buy, we shot up, right? And not only that, but the 2-week 9 sell actually called the top of the bull run in 2021. And then before that, we had a 9 buy on the 2-week chart, which led to the most insane bull run ever in Theta, when we went from like a penny up to insane, what was that? Like 10 cents, but we were like 3 cents, between 3 and 10 cents, all the way up to $16. Quite a crazy move there. But yeah, to me, Theta looks a lot like this right here. If you check this out, let's go to total 3. All right. And I'm sure you've guys seen this before, but if we look at it from a fractal perspective, maybe let's bump that up to, let's go to the 8-day. There we go. That looks okay. So let's get rid of that. There we go. So this is what Theta looks like, right? You see this 3-way move there? Well, would you look at that? You see the crash, you see the crash, you see the retrace, you see the retrace. What comes next? Right? So you could see where I'm coming from. I mean, I'm not just taking a shot in the dark and saying, yeah, it's probably going to go up. No, there's a lot of reasons why I think it's going to go up. First of all, you have this W shape, double bottom sort of recovery, right? This is a different structure than the rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways structure, which, by the way, this could turn into. So yeah, it's like as if we were here, guys. We're right there. That's why I keep saying, like, I think we're close. I think we're close. I think we're really close. So again, if this is 3 up and this is 3 down, but you can see this was 5 up, guys. That's the difference. Now you could say that was a 3, but I don't like that at all. It doesn't look right. It's not proportional. So you could see how much percentage points did we actually go up. Not looking at the very bottom, but we went up about between, what is that, between 2,000 and 3,000%. Okay, so if we do the same thing, we're pretty really low there, 2,000 to 3,000%. I mean, that's going to get you at least to the all-time high. I think it's going to go way higher than that. And by the way, you could see the fact that this came right to the low, but also this did as well. So it's really interesting to me, right? Actually, let me take a screenshot of this. There we go. Interesting screenshot there. All right. So, all right, let's look at ADA. ADA is another one that looking interesting, right? Major impulse, 3-wave pullback, 3 waves up, and then 3 waves down. So you have a 3-3-3. That's cool, right? So you're flagging out pretty nicely. But I want to see a 5-wave move. I want to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, kind of go side, then go. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for. ADA. Filecoin. Even though Filecoin looks deadly and depressing, I still have a lot of hope for it. We basically had a new all-time low for Filecoin, guys. So we are literally, Filecoin is literally 28% off the low. Okay, so that's like XRP. Imagine XRP coin came out yesterday and it's up 28%. Well, guess what? It's got like 10,000% more to go, man. Yeah, Filecoin looks pretty insane. You can see, very interestingly, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have an A. You have 3 waves up, but you also have 3 waves down. And what happened? And it looks like a flat to me because the B wave took above of the A. So what do you expect now? Either 3 or 5. Hopefully we get 5. So let's see. Oh, no. Yeah, so we would get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Something fast and vicious, right? So that would be your B right there. So this would be A, B, C. That's your B. And then from there, who knows? You could get a big C. You could go into reaccumulation. That's probably more so that what you would get. But what is the point here? The point is you should get back up there, up into these retracement levels. And Filecoin could be a very excellent buy because if you just go up, you're looking at an easy 1,500% move just to get to the retracement levels, right? Matic is another one that looks very interesting. Man, don't you just wish you had like $10,000 for each coin I share? I wish I did. If I had $10,000, I would put it into Filecoin, Filecoin, Matic, maybe a little bit of Ethereum too. Ethereum's gotten pretty beat up, but I would rather wait, and I want some more proof. The problem with Matic is you need to get away from the scene of the crime. You're too close to the big move down, right? You see what happens here? You see how you move down and then you instantly move back up? The problem was you didn't get away from the scene of the crime. That's why you continued down. So if this continued up, you can continue down. So what you need to break the trend. How? You got to go sideways. You got to build like a little bit of a range in here and then get away from all of that, right? So we got time. I don't think it's going to be super fast. Now again, but this can start creeping up here before you get a move down, and then so we'll see how it goes. But essentially we have a 1 1 ABC 2, and then we have 1 2 3 4 5. There's your 3, right? And then you have A, B, and then C or WXY. There's your 4, and then we should go up and get 5. 1 2 3 4 5. Let's go. Dog had a little bit of a move here. Look at Dog. Man, I missed it. I was looking at Dog too a little bit, but we've been talking about Dog for a little while. It's definitely one of my favorite meme coins as far as the shape of it. Actually, SHIB is my favorite, but you have an impulse, you have an A, B, C here. Okay. And you have this move up, you kind of went sideways. It didn't give me any room to get in. It basically, we were just kind of ranging in here. I didn't pull the trigger, but a lot of times you could get an ABC back down to here. Probably would have been a little bit better. But would I buy it right now? Probably not, because you're right here at resistance. See, that's the thing. Like, these things can just march and march and march higher and higher, and you can't get in because there's no entry unless you FOMO. And then it's like, well, so yeah, let's see if we can. Man, it already went up so much, you know. Let's see. I'm trying to see. Oh, okay. So yeah, it started off as a diagonal too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it kind of had this ABC in here. And then, you know, you're marching up. But this looks interesting. So what, either this is a flat and this is a 1, 2 and a 1, 2 and we're about to break out. Or this is going to be 3 down. This is going to be 3 up. Maybe even we break the top and then we come down and then we go up. So basically it could be a flat A, B, C, then go. But I don't know. It looks pretty bullish right in here. It looks kind of interesting. Well, we shall see. XLR was another one. Man, I wish I had a lot of money. I could be shopping in here because these are damn good price. I'm loving a lot of these charts. They're starting to look way more developed. You know, things take time. It doesn't happen overnight. But look at XLR, man. You got this major 3-wave pullback here. You got 5 waves. I mean, you're basically all-time new lows. I mean, it's really, really, this is like a crypto paradise for cherry picking cryptos, you know. Jupiter, HBAR. Okay, so HBAR looks like it's getting a little exhausted. You can start to see a little bit of the doji candles pop up. Remember, we really haven't had any significant corrections. A lot of times they can get up here and then they can come all the way back down and make you believe that we're going to take the low and then just rampage up, you know. And then what happens is, you know, the price comes down and then the price goes up. People go long, 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 and then it comes down and all those longs get taken out and then it goes, right? Because they didn't expect a wave 2. A lot of times you get those wave 2s. Okay, so Chainlink is another one. Oh, we got to look at Litecoin in a minute because it's got that same structure as Monero. Okay, so Link actually looks good. This looks like a running flat to me. ABC. It looks like a 1, 2. It looks pretty bullish in here. Remember, we're only on Monday, guys. We have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We have a lot of days. We even have Saturdays, okay? Saturdays sometimes could be bullish. But we have a lot of time here. So here's the big question. Here's basically look at Chainlink in a nutshell for the whole market. Number 1, is this flagging out for another move up to here? Or are we going to work our way down? I think this has a good chance at popping the high first and then getting an ABC and then going up. So that's how I envision it. I think we're going to get a pop followed by a little bit of a correction, a little bit of sideways, and then a continuation. So where is Litecoin at? Oh, Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance, a little bit flaggy right in there. Theta Fuel. Theta Fuel, I'm still very much excited for Theta Fuel. Again, you know, you got this 3-wave move down, waiting for it to kind of range and then eventually get back here. Still believe that very strongly. Bitcoin. We didn't even look at Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin may need a little bit of a correction here. One, two, three, four, five. ABC. You got a 1, 2. Got got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So is this a 3? If it's a 3, you'd probably need one more high. And then you would get a 4 and then a 5. So it's a little bit tough right now. If I had to imagine, I would think this is kind of like a running flat in here, kind of like chain link. I think we have a shot at one more high before an ABC. So I think we need one more high just because of the way this doesn't look finished to me. That looks like a continuation to me. I'll give you an example, kind of like right here. And right here, you see how we knuckle out? It's kind of like a little bit of a reverse channel. But you're stuck under all of this resistance in here. So, but once we crack through it, we can easily get to 100K. I think we could see 100K this week, guys. Very possible. All right. So if we can hit up here one more wave, then I would expect it to kind of flag out a little bit, maybe test these waters, and then a continuation. And then that's hopefully we can get some kind of alt season here. Because think about it. What is the number one recipe for an alt season? $100,000 Bitcoin. If Bitcoin can hit 100K, then it gives people's psychological, it kind of gives them a little bit of a massage. Like, hey, if it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay. The altcoins are where it's at. All right. Dot. Okay. Boom had a nice little pop too. Render, three-way pullback. You got 5 waves, 3 down, 3 up, 5 down. You also have quite an impulse. You have a double bottom here too. You got an impulse. It looks like you're flagging. I think render's going up. Look at it. Maybe we have a little ABC before we go up. Whatever. Or maybe we have to come all the way down and continue to build this range before we break out. It's possible, but we'll see. Flow. All right, Litecoin. I couldn't wait. All right, so Litecoin, remember, Litecoin is the same type of structure as Monero. And Monero broke to the upside. So let's take a look at Monero really quick. So we have both structures here, right? Rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways. Rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, right? So we pretty much know that. Monero definitely looks more bullish than Litecoin, but let's take a look here. So yeah, we have you could say A, B, C, right? D, and then E. Or you can say A, B, C. This is D. And now this is E right there. So this was E right there. And yeah, so as far as a triangle goes, right? So if we look at it from a triangle perspective, but maybe let's zoom out a little bit. Let's go to the 4-day. Here we go. So A, B, C. Now the question is, where is D? Is D here and is E here? That's possible. Or D can be here and E can be here. Right? Whatever. It is what it is. The point is, you kind of have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you have this 3-way pullback, and then you have another wave. So that could be a 1, that could be a 2. This could also be a 1, and then an ABC pullback, that could be a 2. And then you could be getting ready to gear up for that wave 3. Or if this whole thing is a 3-wave move, right, then you would need an E wave, which I think that's what that was, right? So For Litecoin, it's all about breaking above this structure and getting back up to here. And the only way that's going to happen is if we get some kind of bull run here. So we'll see. XTC, keep an eye on this one. We just crossed that hour mark. Hit the like, subscribe. Thank you so much for 4,000 subscribers. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I never thought I'd get there, honestly. And you think, oh, that's not a lot of subscribers. Well, it kind of is for me, for sure. But yeah, XTC, you got this nice W pattern. Probably one of the nicest looking ones. You have this 1, 2, 3. Looks like we're having a 4 here. Let's get 5, right? It looks like you have 1, 2, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, that's 3. Maybe this is ABC for 4. Or maybe we don't need an ABC. Maybe this was the ABC, and then we get up for that wave 5. Regardless, you could see we're going sideways, right? So this is what I want to see Theta do, guys. I think Theta is like down in here, right? Remember Theta. If we look at Theta side by side, just for a second here, if you look at Theta, the complete chart, there it is right there. And then look at XDC. You see this? You got the move down, got the move up, got the move up, got the move down, got the move down, right? You got the W, then you pop to the upside. Well, guess what? That's what I expect for Theta. So XDC already did it. So anyways, I think that should do it for this video. I don't think there's anything else to talk about. Obviously, XLM was interesting. We didn't talk about that one yet. So XLM real quick. You got this move back up to here. It would make sense if we kind of flagged out a little bit and then popped up. That's kind of what I would like to see, right? So here's your neckline, here's your shoulder, here's your head. Let's get another shoulder, which would require a move down and then up. So let's go. All right. That'll do it for this video. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. And if you bought and held Monero, you made out like a bandit. I would continue to hold it. I would continue to look for entries. I think Monero's going to be, I mean, just look at the chart, man. It looks crazy. So, all right. I will catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.